Hey guys, it's Alex, and today I want to talk to you about when is it in your conversation that you ask for what you want? Let me explain what I'm really asking you. If you're in a situation where you have to have a conversation with someone because you need to ask them to do something for you or complete a task that somehow is going to impact you in a positive way. When you know you need to do that and you go and have a conversation with someone specifically about that. So let's say it's a conversation at work and you need to ask your boss or your sales coach or whatever the case may be to file something for you, because if they don't file that thing for you, you're not going to get paid. Now, let's also bring in the context that this person, your boss, has so many employees. It's usually easier to use a sales example because a lot of the communication questions I get regarding asking for something from your superior tends to be on sales teams. For some reason, I think there's a lot more structure around how to ask for things when you're an employee, because you get that fun thing called an employee manual. And when you're on a sales team, often there isn't one. Now, on really good sales teams, there are. But let's say you're starting at not entry level, but either entry level or sort of right after entry level, and you really need something done from your superior, and your superior has 200 other sales people under them. So what do? How do we get noticed, and how do we go about doing that? Well, what I see versus what should be done are very different, which is good news for you, because it means if you use this tactic, it'll probably work for you. And the tactic is this: transitioning. It's one word, easy word, means going from one thing to another. But here's why it's important. When you go up to someone and ask for something right out the gate, even when they know what you're going to ask them for, it's a lot harder to get them to do that thing. Not because they don't care about doing their job right, and that includes doing things for you, but it's because when we first engage in a conversation and we ask for something, we're allowing all this other time to go by while the conversation is still happening, and the conversation can get off track, or it can even transition to something else. So in a conversation, we're always looking at a moment where the subject kind of changes or comes to an end. So what we want to do is, instead of asking for what we want up front in a conversation, we need to be asking for what we want towards the end. And let me explain how that setup looks. Rather than going up to your boss, John, and saying, "John, thank you for meeting with me. I know you got my email about the request form. I filled that out. Now I just need you to do it." He might do it for you, but that conversation just doesn't stick out. Every conversation you have gives you an opportunity to stand out, because so many conversations don't. So if you're just one person that does it a bit differently, automatically, even though this process is good and it works, by just changing a process, sometimes you can achieve your goal. So you walk up to John, and the first thing you're going to say in this scenario is not, "Hey, thanks for the email. Now, can you do this?" That's too quick of a transition. Notice it was still two subjects. "Hey, how you doing?" That's kind of a subject, a lame attempt and kind of lazy as well, but it's a subject. And then you're switching over to, "Can you do this thing that I've been alluding to the whole time?" Instead of that, it's, "Hey, John, I really appreciate you taking the time to meet with me. I know you have a lot of other people that you need to do things for throughout the day, and I just wanted to let you know that I recognize that, and so thank you for meeting with me." That lays down a firmer blanket or a thicker blanket of acknowledgement and asking how this person is doing. Remembering that everyone is human is super important. So after you get through those pleasantries, then you get this opportunity to do something that almost no one does. After you give this upfront courtesy of, hey, how you doing? I recognize you're busy. I'm super glad that you're taking time to speak with me. Then you get to pause and listen. It's two components of communication that will drastically increase your odds of getting someone to say yes to you and actually take an action based on that yes and do something for you by just listening and pausing. Pausing is just something we don't do well. And because we don't pause, we never give a person an opportunity to speak. And in a conversation, it is ping pong. It needs to be this other person's opportunity to speak. You can't just go up to everyone as a resource of someone that can give you something. Approach everyone as if you hope that your interaction with them improves something for their day. Think about that mindset. You have to turn your agenda off, and we talk about it all the time, in order to actually get your agenda completed. Because you have to sink in and connect with another person when it comes to getting almost anything achieved. Specifically, when you want someone to take time to do something for you, the least you can do is open the conversation in a conversational way that doesn't jump straight to what you need, and do some of those pleasantries while also giving that integral space of pausing and then listening for what this person says. Then you get another opportunity to acknowledge whatever they have said. And what that is doing, and though it takes a little bit longer, is it sets up context in a relationship, and it brings humanity into the ask. Rather than asking up front, where you could have all that for your boss, you could have all that compassion and appreciation, but it's not going to show if you don't give it the opportunity to show. So you've introduced what you're talking about. You've listened, you've acknowledged this person. Now it's time to transition into asking for what you want. And at this point, it should be a natural yes that comes out of the person, because not only is it already their job to do this for you, but you just jumped to the top part of their list because you did it in such a respectable and caring way. We take for granted sometimes how far these pleasantries will go, because so many people are so task-oriented that the humanity doesn't have a lot of room to grow in there, and relationship building is all what sales is all about. So transition your ask near the end of your conversation rather than the beginning. That's my tip for today. I hope you guys found it helpful. Until next time, I hope you're having happy and healthy conversations. Hit the subscribe button below for videos every week, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.